Mark, Josh Dawson, I guess, was with the D-line when we were out there. Is that something that you guys are going to take a look at this camp?
Well, he's an end, he knows the outside linebacker and the end position. But, yeah, he's put on some really good weight, very strong, and he'll be capable of doing both. But right now, his primary position will be end.
Michael Bennett was out there running around. He made a few nice catches. You guys expecting him to maybe move around that one this early?
Well, after watching him rehab all summer, I wasn't surprised. When he had the injury, you just never know how a guy's going to come off of it, but I think he's gained a lot of confidence in how hard he's worked and how much he's tested it over the summer. He was able to have most of the summer with no limitations on him, where Tramel Terry's about 2 weeks behind him, and Tramel's still in the brace that Michael's learned most of the summer, that same type of brace. So, Tramel's on the way, recovering from his ACL. He's about 2 weeks behind. Michael, just basically, because when the injury happened and the surgery happened, not anything having to do how hard he worked, because Tramel's worked extremely hard as well. But yeah, it's a pleasant surprise to see him moving around as well. When the injury happened, you can only hope he'd look this good by now.
I was surprised to see Tramel yesterday running really full out at
Yeah.
times and stuff like that. Is he farther along than you expect? Maybe
He's
closer
farther
to
along
play?
than I thought he'd be, but he hasn't had much time to just do it throughout the summer to where when you came to camp, you could be free of that brace and everything. So, excuse me. The last thing a wide receiver wants to wear is a big old brace like that, but we've got to do it, and he's pushing through it, and he's very raw. He's a tremendous athlete, but it's been a while since he's played football. He's coming off an ACL, and he's really learning. For the most part, he's learning a new position. He played more running back in high school than receiver, although he did both.
On the O-line, what have you seen from Colton so far, and have you gleaned anything yet?
Well, I think Colton will play this year without a doubt. He's competing for playing time in a starting position. Coach Friend right now he's rolling things around right now. He wants to. We're trying to find the best five and where to put them too. So we're not. I mean, you could ask me on any given day who's in the top five. I really can't tell you right now up front. It's more of a process of just putting guys in different positions and trying to see which combination is the best five. And it's a little confusing because you got guys that can play more than one position. Colton being one of them, and because of that, if he's a guard, then what happens to the guard position? If he's a tackle, what happens to the tackle position? Burnett can play guard, he can play center, he can, so just what's our best five? We got to figure out what it is.
Is there?
Absolutely horrified the fact that you have so many options on the offensive line. When you think back to the
Even a year ago, we were really concerned and struggling to find five that can play. And I don't know if we got 10 guys that are just going to line up and kick everybody's rear end, but we got, I don't know if it's quite 10, but we're close to that number that I think has a chance to legitimately line up and play football in the SEC. Did you want to follow up?
Yeah, I mean, is the emphasis on five that will play the majority of the game, or are you hoping to go in this year with a plan to substitute a lot during the game?
I think we'll sub some. I don't know if you can sub a lot on the offensive line and keep that cohesiveness. It's such a big communication game, guys playing side by side. If you're constantly changing that every game, every series or so, it's a little bit, you worry about your continuity. Because, one thing we did last year is we were pretty good on our assignments, and we got after it. If you juggle it too much and guys get a little miscommunication, we get a missed assignment because of it, doesn't matter how talented they are. So we've got to be careful what we do and how we sub. But my guess is we'll sub more than we did a year ago.
Kind of along that same vein, flipping them to the defensive line, that you've seen in just a couple of days, that you may have more ability to rotate there as well.
We'll definitely rotate there. D-line, I mean, I don't know if there's any one or two or three that is just so far out in front of anybody else. I think it's a close enough competition where we need to roll them, and what's gonna separate them is who really understands it the best, and who's in the best condition, and, you know, who's, you know, not gonna bust an assignment, so that's what I think it's gonna be more of that than, a talent-based issue. They're pretty close in talent.
Do you think Jordan Jenkins can be as productive without Jarvis on the field in terms of, you know, defenses gearing up for him and
Right. You know, I don't know how many people are gonna just gear up for him, for Jordan Jenkins.
No, I meant because Jarvis isn't there to.
Oh, yeah, well, they were scheming for Jarvis and kind of freeing up Jordan, yeah. It remains to be seen. I think that, I don't think teams are gonna say, hey, we gotta get a plan for Jordan Jenkins yet. You know, if he starts doing some special things, maybe they will. So I think he'll probably get some of the same type of opportunities that he got a year ago. But, you know, it remains to be seen. If they watch film and say, he's the guy that we gotta do something different with, then he may have to learn how to, you know, beat some more double teams than he's ever had to deal with.
Is Floyd, you know, I know the Loach, I guess, is listed in front there, but y'all definitely seem to have options there as well.
Yeah, Floyd, I will say this about Floyd, and just the drills, the pass rush drills, the things that we do that don't take a lot of knowledge of the system. You see a really big upside with him, just long and athletic and just, he seems to be in great condition. And he's got some good strength for a big, long, lean guy like that, so he's got really nice potential for us.
Does he take on blocks well, because he's so skinny?
Well, I don't know yet. You know, we're just in
Yeah.
shorts and but, you know, over the next 3 practices, we'll have a better idea how he does that. But he's got, even though he's a little tall, he can bend real good, and the reason why I say it, I mean, if you can bend real good and you can get in a good power base, you can defend pretty good. Like even Josh Harvey Clemens, he's tall and skinny, but he really he's pretty stout for a slim guy. Some guys are that way.
How's Xavier Ward doing, and how is kind of his emergence kind of pushed John, do you think, Theus?
I think Theus knows he's there. There's no doubt about it. I think Xavier's is coming along. As I watch it, so far, one play, he really looks very good, and the next play, he may look off balance, or he may get you know, lifted out of his shoes a little bit here and there, but he's definitely competing, and I think Theus is. I mean, he's so far ahead of a year ago. It's and obviously he was a true freshman last year, but Theus is still. He's still got a ways to go too.
When we talked to Mike last week, he didn't really, I don't think he really knows what y'all do with J.J. Green, because I don't know if he knows exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's getting the majority of his reps as a tailback.
Yeah.
right now.
I mean, how do you see that winding up going?
Yeah, I don't know. Right this minute, we have a pretty healthy number of wide receivers that know
Yeah.
what to do, that can play. You know, sometimes you'll take a guy like that when you need more pop outside. You'll cross train him, or and the other thing is, if a guy can cross train, they're not quite sure what personnel grouping you're in. Are you in a 3 receiver set or 2 receiver set, depending on whether he's in the backfield or not. But right now, he's not far enough along. He's still learning running back, and he's not. We wouldn't say him being out there would be better than somebody who's already out there at that position right now. So we'll just kind of wait and see how it develops.
Coach, obviously your goal every year is to do the best you can, go as far as you can. How openly do y'all talk about winning it all this year, potentially?
Well, first of all, I don't get into everything we say in the team meeting room. That's kind of private for us, some of the things we talk about. But, I mean, we're very open in regard to, you know, wanting to win the East, playing for the SEC, and then at that point, you know, we know if we win the SEC, we've got a pretty good chance to play in the game. It's not a guarantee, but we've got a pretty good chance. So, but, you know, our focus right now is so much more on, not so much the big picture dream than, you know, what do we gotta do every single day, every single practice, every single play to get where we wanna go, every single meeting, even how you eat, how you get your rest, you know, the process of getting where we wanna go is what we're focusing on right now.
On defense, do you, with these guys and how they're approaching this season, do you sense any similarities between this and maybe 2011 in terms of youth, hunger, that kind of stuff?
You know, I can't even hardly remember that long ago, but it's definitely, those are the good characteristics of this defense. They're hungry to play, they're hungry to prove to coach that they're ready for playing time and starting positions, and I think they trained that way all offseason. I think they're trying to bust their tail in practice, and you know, there's a few guys on defense that are very comfortable. I mean, obviously Swan is comfortable as far as, at least, I'm not saying he's comfortable that he's being complacent, but I'm just saying he knows what he's doing. He looks like a veteran out there, I guess. Other guys are still kind of wide-eyed, looking to coach every time something happens, trying to make sure they're doing it right. I mean, he knows what he's doing, and he's basically learning how to perfect his trade, like I've said in the past. But, and I told the guys before practice, I said, you're one of two places. You're either learning what to do, or you're perfecting what you do. You're you know, and Swan's more in a position where he's trying to perfect what he does rather than trying to learn what he's doing.
Mark, sorry if I just overlooked him, but was Ramik out there today?
Yeah, Ramik had a stomach, you know, like I don't know how to describe it. You know, his stomach wasn't feeling good. He was a little nauseous, but he's fine. He should be going tomorrow full speed.
What's your, how do you feel about these iPads you guys are using? Is that something you spend much time on an iPad yourself?
Well, I've got an iPad, and matter of fact, I brought mine in today to make sure I'm connected to the system, our new system that we have now. So when I go home, my wife will like this, I can watch practice film from home. So it'll just automatically download it into my computer. So, but you know, it's nice. I mean, we've had players just begging for more info to be synced into their computers so they can take a look at it before they go to bed and stuff like that. So it's a great system. It's a great system. If it's secure as everybody says it is, it's phenomenal.
How did you watch stuff at home before, just on laptop or something?
Usually I wouldn't, but I'd have to bring a laptop. I won't say I wouldn't. On a daily basis, usually don't watch film at home. Most of the film I would usually watch would be game film. Like on Sunday morning, if I didn't want to come in the office, I just want to look at it before we go to church or something like that. But yeah, you usually have to have your laptop. It has to be downloaded. You have to wait, you know, for it to get done before you go, or maybe I'd go home and have somebody drop it off to me or something like that. And now, with this, it just, everything in our system will sync to my computer.
And for someone who still writes things on their hands and so forth, how's the digital?
There's a little residue there. I resemble that remark.
How has the digital learning curve been for you over the last 10 years, 5 years, whatever?
Well, the good thing about the technology is you don't really have to know how it works. You just got to know that it works and how to use it. I mean, I'll if I need help, I got a lot of people to help me, you know. But for the most part, I know how to get in this system, obviously, and pull up anything I want to watch, and so it's really pretty simple to run. That's the beauty of these computers and these programs. I mean, my dad was a programmer at IBM growing up, and I mean, his job was to make the program to where the person could simply use it. Anybody else?
You wanna share anybody that's kinda jumped out at you the first?
Okay, let me see what I can think of. I had some guy, well, Swanee, I know Swan had a couple picks today. He looked very good today. Shaq Wiggins actually had a pick today. He's learning how to defend without holding and grabbing and snatching and all that, but he's a fiery competitor. I do like Langley also, just watching young guys and just saying, hey, they've got the skill sets that we hope they did. The two ends, I think, Bellamy and Leonard, long, rangy athletes that can really move. I mean, just get excited about that. Trying to think of some other guys that kind of popped for me. I mean, Murray's, you kind of expect Murray to be sharp, and he's been very sharp. Accuracy, leadership, getting everything in the right play, all that kind of stuff. I'll tell you, you've probably been reading about it already, but Marlowe really has done a good job in his weight down a little bit, becoming quick. You can see a different quickness and stamina with him. It's hard to really say a whole lot about Lyman right this minute because of we're just kind of in shorts. So I guess that's a little something to think about. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.